pressure, man. All I see on TV and the paper stands is the lies that they feed to keep the upper hand. And we starving for truth, so we biting in. Okay, you know what happened to it takes a whole village, built on every single color, not privilege. If we all work together, we can fix this. Yeah, divided we fall, but together we in this. What happened to neighbors? When did we start seeing each other's
And we're live. Oh, they're calling it the Monday Malady again. I guess it is. It still Monday?
Yep. No, it's Tuesday now.
No, I didn't get 3 in a day. Well, kind of. 24 hours. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to fade out. Let's get into it. Fade out. All right. That was Mr. Brandon Hart. Ricardo, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yes.
Always a pleasure. And here we are. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Mike Files. I was trying to get 3 in a day, but apparently we've slipped past midnight.
Yeah.
But I think I started last night after midnight, so within 24 hours, this will make 3. So
Yeah.
who's counting? Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, who's counting days anyway? Every day's Groundhog's
Yeah.
Day anyway for most people, you know? I mean, it's like it's same old shit, same
Yeah.
old thing every day, you know? I mean, wake up, go to work, go back,
Yeah.
sleep, you know, eat your Wheaties and your bowl of gruel and go do it again the next day. Just gotta love life. That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, I was gonna start with Creepy Joe, but when you first showed up, I was talking about simulation theory.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you got to think about it. Like, what's the point in what we do as human beings? What are we doing? I mean, what do we do from day? I mean, everybody's so self-important on their little mission from day to day, but it's like,
If they don't accomplish that, then what is it?
I mean, most of us can die, and it's not going to mean anything to really much of anybody except a couple people that you know. I mean, and then they're just gonna be like, yeah, well, you know, yeah, he went away. I mean, that's the one thing we all have in common is that we're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, really. I mean, we all have that in common, and nobody can get out of it.
Nope.
And that's what makes our human conundrum so fucking funny to me, because these people are just trying to, and we've talked about this, people just, I mean, they're trying to get over on everybody. They're trying to play this race and make money. And what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
You're not here that long, dumb shit.
Nope.
I mean, you know, you've had your experience. Yeah. I mean, you damn near left at an early age. I've damn near left a couple of times. I've somehow managed to get through.
I know, thanks to my experience, it cost me 10 years of life. So it's like,
right.
I mean,
but it also, in a sense, from the way you've spoken about it, it kind of gave you your life back too.
Yeah.
Kind of gave you a new perspective on things.
For sure.
And I think that, I know I've been through that as well. I mean, with prison, and then, I mean, I had before that numerous occasions where I shouldn't have lived through different things. I mean, car accidents and fights and just shit that, you know, I mean, there's no way and to still be here. I mean, sitting here talking to my buddy last night, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking pushing 50, bro. I mean, I just turned 50 or 46. I'm like, fuck. I mean, like I might hit 50. And it's like, that's just, I mean, to me, from here on out, every day is like, I mean, I thought that for a while. I mean, that every day was a blessing, you know, but it's like, but there's nothing that I'm doing that's so important that it's going to stop the fucking earth from spinning. There's nothing anybody's doing that. I mean, even the most important person on the planet, it really doesn't fucking matter. And we all have this self-importance and this idea that we're going to chase this money.
Yeah.
What
doesn't matter.
For what? And the crazy thing is we're sitting here, we're talking about food shortages coming up. Look at the price of fuel.
Oh my God.
We have enough resources.
Yeah.
There's enough resources for all of us on this planet. There's no reason why there should be people in third world countries. There's no reason why people in Sierra Leone or in the Congo or you know, Rwanda or Zimbabwe.
But they're paying so much.
Or Brazil or whatever. There's no reason that you should have any poverty.
Yep.
There's no reason. Look what, I mean, Elon Musk just made an offer of $43 billion to buy Twitter, and $20 billion would knock out homelessness. It would knock it out. So he just offered more than twice of that. Now, I don't have a problem with him buying Twitter.
No.
Quite frankly, I love to see these shit libs start crying and
Yeah.
whining and sniveling over it. It's hilarious. They're losing their minds. They're acting like they did when Trump got elected.
Yeah.
Like they might as well just go out in the street and scream like that one goofy bitch that's sitting out there and, you know,
Yeah.
put on your pink hat and go yell at the sky. You know, I mean, really what happened in the 4 years of Trump?
Nothing.
I mean, what happened that was so bad? I mean, he didn't kill as many people as Obama or Bush.
Yeah.
Obama ran us out of bombs in one day. Bush, I mean, we killed 1 million fucking innocent people in Iraq.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump went on some bombing sprees, I guess, but but he didn't start any new wars.
Yeah, no.
He didn't start any new wars. And the one time that I thought he was going to was with that drone in Iran that they shot down.
Yeah.
Rightly so. That was in their airspace. We shouldn't have been there. And when he asked the question, he was down in the war room or whatever, where they were making the decision on whether or not he's going to drop that drone bomb, because they found the 3 guys supposedly responsible. And he said, how many innocent people are going to die if we do this? And they said, well, 97, sir. And he said, nope. And he pulled the trigger, and the Democrats were pissed. They're supposed to, I mean, the Democrats are supposed to be like the party of like peace and love. And,
I know.
You know, and they're mad at him. And to me,
It's
like I've said over and over, that was the
Yeah.
one moment of that dude's presidency that I look at as like, to me, that was like kind of a shining moment. And it really, to most people, didn't mean a fucking thing. But to me,
Yeah.
it showed that regardless of his you know, his necessity to always be in the spotlight, you know, almost a narcissist. I'd say he's probably narcissistic.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely a megalomaniac. I mean, you know, like my favorite band says in Bust It Big, there's a lyric that says, beware the man that builds monuments to
Yeah.
himself. Anybody that has to build big-ass hotels and put their name on it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely, he you know, I mean, I think it's because he got sent to military school at a young age. He never had his dad's attention or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but what I can say is he never ran us out of bombs.
Yeah.
And he did make that decision. And to me, I mean, everybody's all worried about Trump's going to put us in the next world war. Well, look where we are now.
Yeah.
This shit going on in Ukraine.
We're one step away from.
And we're very close. And we
Yeah.
have got a jackass in office that just doesn't even know where the fuck he's at. I mean, and he's old. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, and his handlers.
He's so
he's
fucking
just
old. I swear. It's like.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like he's got marbles in his mouth when he's talking.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the Easter clip we watch, and his wife's sitting there going, wave. He's shaking hands with nobody. Maybe he's that close to the other side that he's seeing apparitions.
I have no idea.
Maybe he's on the spirit side. Maybe he's in the spirit world. I don't know. I mean, he might be that close. I mean, he's like Dirt fucking Reynolds. I mean,
But-
he's so dirt. He's dusty.
Let me just pray that Trump doesn't run and Biden doesn't run, and then we'll get a new leader who.
Well, yeah, you know what? I mean, to me, it's like, you know what? At this point in time, it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. Let's just get rid of the presidency. Let's get rid of everybody in Congress.
Yeah.
And let's sit down, and I don't know who sits down and makes that. Let's just let the people go about their business.
Yeah.
Because we all know what we need to do. I mean, everybody out there knows their niche. They know their job.
Yeah.
They know what to do. We don't need. I mean, anybody out there, please. I would like to hear. I would like to hear from you if you've ever had. Have you ever had a politician do anything good for you?
Not really. I mean,
I haven't.
maybe when I suffered a brain injury, you know, it's funny, but Alicia approached the Republicans first because that was her party.
Yeah.
They didn't help her. So she went to the Democratic Party and they did help her.
Yeah.
So
Who was in office at that point? in
Oh
time?
my God.
Was it Obama?
yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So you had he probably implemented the you know, whatever, Obamacare.
Yeah.
And that's what he was. That was funny when he was out there to celebrate the 12th anniversary of that
Yeah.
or whatever, and he gets up there and calls Biden his vice president, and Biden's over there and he salutes him and But it was weird watching Obama come out because it
Yeah.
was like, and even for me, and I wasn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's still
initially, I was, when Obama ran the first time, I was behind him.
Yeah.
Like, but then I saw what he did, and it was just like, it was like, dude, you didn't do anything you said you were going to do. I mean, I pissed people off in this town. I had a sticker on my truck. I wore a shirt. I had a shirt that I'd wear to the bar and shit, and dudes would get so fucking pissed at me. Fuck you, you fucking commie. And I'm like, fuck you. Come on, let's fucking roll, man. And I mean, and then I ended up regretting that because I don't think that he, but the thing is the president really doesn't have the power that you think the president does have. Until they start doing like the executive orders, like dipshit did when he took office, and he immediately just shuts down everything that had been worked for as far as energy independence.
Yeah,
and that was just a stupid move. I mean, you don't just go and shut shit down.
Oh my God.
You come up with a solution and you implement it and you transition.
Yeah, but it's like you don't shut off the pipeline. It's like, what the
then
fuck are you doing?
Well, then the fucked up thing is he approved that Nord Stream 2 pipeline over in Ukraine. I mean, that's part of the problem too. He approves. I mean, that's okay, but yet we can't continue with the pipeline here. And then they say, oh, well, there's still 9,000 leases out there. Well, what about the other 30,000 that were actually producing oil? As a driller, you're in business. I mean, if you're running a drilling company, the idea is to make money. You're not. I mean, you got guys working for you. I mean, you got to make money.
Yeah,
and that's part of the problem too, is money. Money is the big problem. I mean, because I was talking with Tyler yesterday about this, and I was like, dude, what is the one thing in your day-to-day life that you stress about more than anything? Money, right? Same with you, right?
Yep.
Same here. And I've been watching a lot of old video of Jacques Fresco, and he was the founder of the Venus Project. He was a social engineer, an architect, and an engineer. And his whole idea is that we need to get rid of money. First of all, it needs to go away. That there's enough for everybody. And then we need to re-engineer our cities. And I mean, he worked it all out in models and everything. And he's like, it's a resource-based economy.
Yeah.
And he's like, it doesn't mean that we're talking about socialism or communism. He said, there's not going to be somebody who's in charge of everything. It's like, it's just like everything you need, you're going to have.
Yeah.
Like whatever house you want to live in, you can live in, but it's just one of those where everybody's going to have, because you look at it, everybody's got something that they're good at, right? I mean, there's certain jobs that people look at and they kind of like look down their nose at, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're a custodian, but I know dudes out there that are custodians and they're the best damn custodian, and that's what they want to do. Everybody's got a place, but when you put people
and what's so crazy is that I looked at some of those jobs today or yesterday, and they paid exactly the same rate as I earned at the Walmart liquor store. So
yeah, I get them every day too, and I just laugh. I'm like, nope. I mean, I've had some crazy offers since the Rona. But, and I think a lot of people are that way right now. They've realized that, they've spent just so many years just punch in, punch out, going through the motions, just not living their life. Life is precious, man. You know? I mean, it's,
oh my God.
You know what I mean, more so than anybody with what you've been through. And I know too, I've had it all taken away from me and been locked up in a cage, and it's not worth just being miserable just so you can collect that shitty cheese job paycheck just to fucking make ends meet, man. It's like, you'd rather just say, fuck it.
Yep.
and I think that's what happened with the pandemic, is a lot of people stepped back and they actually had that moment of clarity where they realized, holy shit.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I've been living for somebody else. My life is passing me by. And I mean, I know I've hit that, or, I mean, like I said, it's like, I don't feel like I'm at the age I am, but it's like, damn, dude, you're pushing 50. It's like, I might not be here too longer. I mean, I mean, who knows? Nobody knows. I mean, any of us could go at any second. It doesn't. I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like you don't know, and so to live your life, to just go on Groundhog's Day every day. I mean, that was a great movie with Bill Murray. I mean,
oh my God, I love that movie.
Everybody laughed and laughed and laughed, but really there was a great message to that because, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, how many of us do live in Groundhog's Day? I mean, it's every day. It's the same thing.
Yeah. And then it's like something doesn't work out, and then you just fix it for the next day, and then
it's like Office Space.
Yeah.
You know, you go in and you got the fat lady on the phone. Corporate accounts payable. This is Nina speaking. Just a moment. All day all day, same thing. I worked with a guy when I worked at the bank, man, and people would pull up and, how you doing today? And they said, oh, fine. How about you? And he'd go, just another day in paradise. Every fucking customer, man. I mean, and it got to the point where I was just sit over there and I was just shaking, just like fucking enraged. Like, dude, say something else. And then, you know, he'd ask, well, how would you like your cash back? And they'd say, well, I don't care. He'd go, how about a sack of nickels?
Oh my God.
I mean, it was just every customer was like, and I just sit there, oh God, I'd sit there and just listen to that and just go, I felt like Sideshow Bob on The Simpsons, stepping on a fucking rake every time he'd open his mouth, man. And he'd just sit there and listen to that shit all day, man. The same lines.
Oh my God.
You know, another day in paradise. How about a sack of nickels? I was like, how about my boot up your ass? Shut the fuck up, man. You know, I mean, that dude. Yeah. I mean, and he's a nice guy. I mean, but it's just like, every day, all day. It's just like, you just dread it.
Yeah.
And I'd sit over there and just drink. I'd go to lunch. I'd go get a bottle of vodka and a fucking jug of Gatorade, and I'd dump half the Gatorade out in the parking lot, and I'd fill it up, and I'd just sit there with my bottle. They're like, we heard rumors you might be drinking on the job. I'm like, no, I wouldn't do that. Fuck, how do you not drink on the job when you're sitting there? You got to deal with that all day, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, just that repetition, and you're making no money.
No, and let me say that I'm glad I cut my hours. Yeah. I'm glad I cut my hours because it's like I fucking lose it if I didn't cut my hours because
Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean, I can't even imagine doing your job. I mean, I'd go nuts. I mean, I wouldn't make it.
No,
I'd get fired. I guarantee it because I mean, it'd just be like I'd finally just have enough.
No, but hold on, it's so nice showing up at 5 instead of at 4, because between 4 and 5 is like the busiest time. So it's like I show up at 5 and it's like, okay, I'll take it from here.
Yeah. And that's funny that we live in a town where at 5 o'clock everything slows down. Like most places, it's like people are working till 6, 7, 8. You go out here at 9 o'clock.
No.
I mean, I went out last night to Walmart around. I was fighting my headlight on my truck. I finally got it fixed, and so I had to go out there. And I went out around 10. And I was hoping to run into you, but no, I couldn't do that. And guess who I ran into? Mr. Personality. But I mean, it's 10 o'clock at night, man. And granted it's Easter, but it's the same every night. There's nobody. There's nothing. No. There's no one around. Nobody's doing anything. No one's going anywhere. It's just all you see is fucking cops. That's it.
Yep.
You just see cops, and then a few meandering
tourists
wandering around fucking people that like me. I like going out there later though because I don't like the people.
Oh,
I just don't like going. I've never liked going shopping. I like going into an empty store. Yeah. Going in when it's packed, I don't like that. I don't like people standing behind me in line.
No, it's like tomorrow, Alicia already ordered a couple things. So it's like I'll drop Cabby off at 8:30 and then it's like time for me to go to Walmart because it's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how I always pick the times to go out there. It's always, you never want to go out there like midday Saturday. You don't want to catch that after church rush on Sunday. Oh. You got to watch out on the first of the month. Yep. Friday night's not a good time. Nope. People are getting, you don't want to go out there then. Saturdays you run into the Niners. Yeah. The people that don't even know how to, this is such a little podunk place and they think, they can't even drive here. Can you imagine? And I've seen Niners in big cities along my journey. I remember when I was living in Seattle, there was numerous times,
Oh, yeah.
I'd see a goddamn Niner out there driving in the left lane on 5 lanes on the I-5, and they're over there doing 45 miles an hour, just blocking everybody, just gaping and looking around.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I've got Wyoming plates, and I'm like, oh God, you're such a fucking embarrassment, It's like,
Yeah.
ugh. But one good thing about having the Wyoming plates, I got out of a lot of shit when if I get pulled over, I'd just play dumb.
Yeah.
I'd play that dumbass. I'm from Wyoming. Put on a stupid slow drawl.
Yeah.
Just act like, just, The cops looking at you like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're
get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd get pulled over. Just, Jesus. I don't even want to get into that. I don't want to incriminate myself. I mean, I think statutes.
No, you know what?
Statutes and limitations are up on all that.
My wife got pulled over last week, and they just let her go with a warning. It's like, whatever.
Typically, I mean, all you got to do, for the most part, you just got to be respectful.
Yep.
That's it. I mean, if people have an attitude towards, do you think do you think the cop really wants to pull you over? I mean, they've got to do what they got to do.
Yep.
I mean, you do have your officers that can get a little overzealous, but for the most part, they got, I mean, really, I can't even imagine, you're having a day, you're just not, everything's, things are, you're arguing with the old lady or something,
Oh my God.
And then you got some jerk ass that goes flying past you 15 miles an hour over the speed limit, one headlight out, swerving all over. I mean, you're like, God damn it, here we fucking go.
Yep.
Flip her around and I mean, you got to look at it from every perspective. I mean, that's why I'm always decent too. I try to be decent.
Yeah.
I mean, in my experience, it seems like about maybe one out of 20 times in my life, I've gotten that dick that just, right away. It's like, this dude is just, I'm getting jammed up.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm getting jammed up, so there's no reason to be nice because he's going to make my day miserable. He's already having a miserable day, so we ain't playing nice anymore. Most of the time, I'm yes, sir, no, sir. I'm like, I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to reach in my back pocket for my wallet. I know you ran my plates. I know you know who I am. I'm not trying to be I said, I want you to have a comfortable time here, and I'm not trying to, you don't need to feel threatened. But then you get the dick once in a while. It's just well, fuck, we're gonna. It's like let's go to fucking jail.
Oh my God.
And they started in, and I mean, I've never had that happen here in California. No, I can tell you that that's never happened to me here in California. Yeah. Well, one time, it was a long time ago, and I won in court. That was a long time ago though, and he's not on the force anymore.
No,
but I mean, I've only been pulled over once in the last 9 years, and it's no big deal. I mean, it's like, shit. It was a laughable deal.
No, but here in Cody, it's like...
Yeah. But, I mean, if you're out there being stupid,
No, it only happened one time, probably like 3 years ago, when the cop actually ran my license plate, and he just wanted to know whether I was the one driving or not. Right. So.
Yeah, I remember, this had to have been back in like 2007 or 8. I was bartending downtown, and so a bunch of the officers had come in for dinner that night in the restaurant where I was bartending at, and I served them beers and everything, and in the club behind the place, behind the restaurant, it was attached, but one was a nightclub and one was a restaurant and a sports bar. Yeah. And I got done with my shift. And at that point in time, I hadn't had a drink in like 30 days. Right? I know it was like 3 months. I think.
Oh my God!
I cleaned up my act. I was completely fucking sober. It was very difficult working in a bar. Yeah. And I leave and I stop at the stop sign down at the bottom of the hill right by the 13th Street hill that comes up by the rec center. Yeah. So I pull up and I'm going to make a left to head up the hill, and the officer, he's coming up from Main Street, right? So we're like this, and I'm taking a left, so I'm waiting for him. And in the meantime, I look up and there's a pedestrian. This guy, and so I'm completely stopped. And this guy, I let the pedestrian go in front of me, and the cop just sits there and waits for me to make the left turn. Yeah. So he can get behind me. So he gets behind me. I go all the way up. I stop at the post office stoplight. I go straight through there. I hit the next stop sign. And I'm going up over like the little hill. Yeah. If you stay on on Hart Mountain, and then he lights me up in the residential neighborhood. Oh, and I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna play a little game here. And
Yeah.
I didn't know which police officer it was, and he pulls up, and it was one of the guys that was in there eating dinner and drinking beer earlier that night. Now they didn't get. I mean, these guys didn't get drunk or anything.
Yeah.
They just had a beer. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
care.
it's
Whatever.
fine.
You have a beer, and I mean, this is 5 hours later or whatever, you know. But he comes up, and I call him by name because I know him.
Yeah.
They come in there and eat all the time. And I'm like, hey, so-and-so. I'm not going to put him on blast. And he's like, oh, hey, Mike, what's going on? I said, well, I'm just going home. I said, why did you follow me all the way up here and then pull me over? He goes, well, you didn't stop at the stop sign. I'm like, which stop sign? I'm like, the one by the one just up the street here, or the one down at the bottom of the hill? I was like, because I had one stop sign. There was a 4-way, and I was like, then there was a stop light.
Oh my god.
A stoplight. I said, and then there was a 2-way stop that we just went through, and I said, I know I stopped at that one, and I know I stopped at the red light. And he goes, no, the one at the bottom of the hill. And I said, you sat there and watched me. I said, are you telling me I didn't? I said, did I not even slow down? He goes, yeah, you California did. And I was like,
Oh, come on.
I'm like, dude, I was sitting. You didn't see the pedestrian walk in front of me? And he's like, there was no pedestrian. I said, oh, you're telling me? I said, you're telling me I'm crazy that I just saw some guy just an apparition or what, And he's like, well, I need your driver's license and your registration and insurance and that.
God.
And I said, well, I'm sorry, I don't have it with me, but it's at my house. If you'd like to follow me to my house, I can come get it for you. He's like, I don't want to do that. And I was like, well, I don't have it. I had it all with me.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what do we do now? And I'm like, well, I don't know. What do we do now? I said, I'm offering you an alternative. I said, you can follow me to my house and I can go get it and show it to you. I was like, but you know me. And I said, you also know that at the back bar, there's a wet t-shirt contest going on tonight. And you probably got a bunch more action going on down there than messing with me. I said, you were in the restaurant. You saw that I was working. He's like, I don't even know. I'll be back. And he goes back in the car, and, and I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of snickering because I know when it comes down to it, I can produce all the paperwork anyways. I'm just fucking with him a little bit, He comes back. He's like, I don't know. Just go home. And I'm like, all right, have a good night, and I mean, every time I've seen the guy since, I mean, I just always laughed, He must have just been having one of those nights because, had I been out of my mind or whatever, then maybe I would have thought there was a pedestrian. But the fact is, I sat there and let the guy walk in front of me, and I'm looking at him, and there's nobody else on the fucking street. Like, exactly. And he's got the right of way because he's to the right of me, and I'm making a turn. So he stopped before me as well. Yeah. So he's got the right of way, and he's just sitting there watching this guy. And the guy that stumbled in front of me, he ended up doing that a few years later, and he got run over, and he got killed.
Oh, my God.
And anybody in town probably knows who I'm talking about. So this wasn't the first time that the guy had stumbled across the street in a drunken and he was drunker than shit. I mean, I thought that the dude was waiting for that guy because he saw him come walking up the street, and he's all, doing that bluegill bob, lumbering around, I mean, I saw him. I was like, oh, God. And I'm not going to say the guy's name either, I mean, I thought for a second, oh, he's just waiting to watch this guy and probably give him a public intox or something. And then I get, he follows me almost all the way home and jams me up. But everything turned out fine. I was respectful to him. I was just like, look, I'm sorry, I don't have the stuff. Yeah. I said I had to take it inside today for some other paperwork, and I forgot to put it back in my truck. And he's, I don't know. I mean, I had that happen out. I lived in Washington. I'd get pulled over and have it. Back then, I didn't even have a driver's license. I had one, but it was like expired by 10 years or some shit. I'd get pulled over.
No, in DC, it cracks me up because they're like, your wife's license expires in a year and a half, and you're like, it's a year and a half from now. It's like, give me a fucking break.
I was worried because this year I completely forgot on my birthday that I had to get a new license. Yeah. And by the time I looked at the clock, I was in the middle of doing something, and I looked, and I was like, oh, shit, fuck. I'm like, oh, God damn it, Yeah. And so I go in there the next day, right? And I'm just like, look, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I was like, oh, I know it was my birthday, and my dad had called. We hadn't spoken in quite some time, and we got into a conversation, and it just kept rolling. And I thought I was going to get, like, I didn't know what was going to happen. But then I'm sitting there thinking, God, you're a square now. Because back in the day, I mean, I'm rolling around with a goddamn 10-year expired license. You know?
Yeah.
Nah, who cares? And I never got in trouble, man. I'd get pulled over. I got pulled over in Seattle one night. And, I mean, I had just left my job at the training facility. I was coaching baseball. And so I was working the later shift. So I closed down the shop, and, you know, we had batting cages. The guy I worked for, he'd bought an old Albertsons, and he put batting cages in there. So, you know, I'd do hitting lessons till like 10 at night. And so there was like a Shell station just like a half a block from there. And I'd always stop and grab a 6-pack of Heineken and then drive home. So I stopped there, of course. I put a little, you know, I put some fuel in the tank. I go in and get my 6-pack of Heinies or whatever, and I just cracked one open. I'm driving down the street in Bellevue, Washington, and bloop, bloop.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, fuck. So I take the beer can, I put it right back here, but it's small on my back, and just lean back. The dude comes up and he's like, you know, your tags are out of date.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, oh, well, yeah. He's like, you got a driver's license, you know? Oh, was that stupid Charger?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Just throw it up there on the table. All this goddamn shit. So anyway, and so come to find out, his kid was actually one of my, he was one of the kids that I was doing hitting lessons with. So he knew who I was, you know? And I know I've got the open beer behind, and I'm reaching for my wallet, you know, and I give him this tattered up old expired ID, you know, and he looks at it and kind of looks at me. He's a flashlight, and he goes back to his car. He comes back. He says, "What the?" He goes, "This thing's expired by like 10 years, Mike. What's up, man?" And I'm like,
It's like,
he's like, you got no tags? He's like, you got no insurance. And he's like, he goes, what am I supposed to do? I said, I don't know. You're the cop. You pulled me over. I don't know what you do, what you got to do. I don't know. I mean, you know, and he knew that I was like his kid's hitting instructor.
Yeah.
And so he's like, just get out of here, man. He goes, get this shit taken care of. And I'm like, okay, yes, I will. And he forced my hand, and I had to go. I went and got a driver's license the next day. But I just was doing it back then because I was just ornery. I just wanted a buck. Yeah. You know, I mean, I could have got one at any time. I mean, I had my boss was letting me drive around the work trucks, and then some lady fucking sideswiped me one day, and it was totally her fault. Right? And you know, I was where I wasn't supposed to be. It was payday. And I would always go to Hastings on payday because I like music. So it was back in the days of CDs. So every payday, man, I'd go and I'd deposit my check, and I'd go to Hastings, you know. So I did that. So I went out of my way instead of just taking the work truck straight home like I was supposed to do. I went and stopped at the mall. Went into Hastings. I got the CDs that I wanted, and I pull out into the left lane, and this lady just comes flying out of nowhere, and she just sideswipes me, you know. And so I realized, oh shit, I don't have a license. My boss is gonna kill me. His van just got fucked up. So I see this bar with like an alley, so I pull over, you know, to get off the road because she's behind me right on my ass. She's blaming me.
What?
Yeah, and it wasn't. It was totally her fucking fault. And so I pull over, and she's like, "I need your insurance." I said, "I don't have insurance." I said, "This is my my employer's vehicle. The information's on the side of the door." You know, I'm like, and he did have an insurance card, but I didn't have it. I didn't have a fucking license, and he'd been letting me drive this shit around, and I never told him I didn't have, you know. And so I'm just walking on pins and needles. I mean, you know, not only did the van get fucked up, so I got to take that thing home, and I'm trying to pull dents and fix it up, and I've got touch-up paint out. You know, God. I mean, I got it fixed to where like he, you know, couldn't see it like at a glance, but if he would have got close to it, he would have known. Yeah. I mean, because I did all the body work and stuff during the winters on all his vans, you know, and everybody get laid off, and and I'm up on the roof one day, and he calls, and he's like, "God damn," you know, yelling and screaming at us, like, "Oh shit." And this lady's trying to come after him and everything, and I'm like, you know, and they ended up like the police up there, they were able to pull like the traffic cam footage. Yeah. And then the crazy thing was there was like a Metro bus that had a camera too, and so they were able to pull the footage. And I mean, like he was ready to fire me. And this went on for like 2 weeks, and I'm just like, there goes all my paychecks. You know? And then he shows up on a job that I'm on, and he's just like, because you never told me you didn't have a license. I'm like, no, I don't. You know, I was like, but you're putting me out there on these jobs. I'm like, you know, I mean, who's gonna drive? I was like, the other guys are spuds. You know, I mean, they don't have licenses either. You know. And I'm like, you know, and he goes, well, it wasn't your, you know, he's like, it wasn't your fault. I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm just breathing a sigh of relief. I'm just like, oh my God, thank you. You know, and so he wasn't so mad, but he's like, you know, I think with that one, yeah. I don't think I ever even got a license after that one. I think it was a few years later that I finally did. I don't know. It just seems dumb.
Yeah.
I was pissed about this one. It cost me $45.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
I'm 46 fucking years old. I've been driving for 30 fucking years. I had one moving violation in my life. One moving violation. I've been pulled over, but I've only had one violation in 1997 when I turned 21. I got a DUI in Boise.
yeah.
And my ex-fiance at the time, she told me that night, she's like, it was right around my birthday. And she was like, well, when we go out, I've just gotten a new Nissan Pathfinder. Just got it, you know? And she's like, well, I won't drink tonight. I'll drive everybody home. So we go down to the Blues Bouquet in Boise, Idaho, you know, and I'm over there with my buddy shooting pool, and we're getting it, you know, we're getting after it a little bit, you know, throwing down some drinks, some beers, some shots, whatever. And I look over, and there she is at the bar doing Alabama Slammers.
Oh my God.
This is a place that had like, one, and I'm like, so the night runs its course.
Yeah.
It's time to go, and she's staggering around. Everybody's staggering around. I've got a higher tolerance. It's my truck.
Yeah.
I'm not putting her behind the wheel.
No, oh, you don't want that.
And I'm like, fuck it. And instead of having the presence of mind to just fork out the money, call a cab.
Yeah.
You know, downtown Boise's got a one-way going one direction, a one-way going the other way on the main drags. And I'm parked on the left side going one way, you know. So I get in the left lane. So we start going, and one of my buddies in the back sees the Yankee dog guy. Right? You had down there in Boise, I mean, when the bars get out at 2 a.m., it's college town. They got the guys with the hot dog carts. And they're good hot dogs.
Yeah.
The Yankee dogs are good.
No.
And they put that cream cheese and good relish.
They're great.
Dude.
Yeah.
They toast that bun. I mean, those things are tremendous. And so my buddy sees it, and he's like, Yankee dog, you know. And so I just pull over on the left side, you know. It's just like pulling up like if you were going down Main Street.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm on the left side. And I pull up in the last space on the street before there's a stoplight.
Yeah.
So we get out, we get our Yankee dogs, everybody's stoked. And I just ease up to the red light, and I make a left turn on red, which is perfectly legal.
Yeah.
However, I didn't put my blinker on. And that was a night that I got hit with the dickhead cop. Like the guy was just an asshole. Like everybody in my truck is freaking the fuck out. I'm like chill the fuck out. I'll handle this. Don't worry about it. You know, just shut the fuck up. I have a truck full of people. I'm like, just shut up. It'll be fine. I roll the window down. I'm being courteous to the guy. And he just opens the door and rips me out of the truck. I mean,
oh my God.
And then, you know, we're on a sidewalk that's like slanted. He's trying to make me walk the line. And it's a slant. I mean, I'm like, dude, this sidewalk's all fucking jacked up, man. And he was just being a dick. And I knew right then. I was like, I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
That was one of those. And he had a ride along. He had some little pussy ride along with him, some little turd kid that was like, you know.
He doesn't eat that. It's like.
And I think he was being a dick probably because he had the little ride along guy with him. He was probably mad that he had to go out on patrol with. It was just some little dick kid.
Yeah.
That, you know, I want to be a cop, you know. And he was being a smart ass up in front of the fucking cop car while I'm in the back, and I'm fucking losing my mind back there. I'm handcuffed and I'm pissed, you know. I'm talking shit to both of them, calling them everything in the book, products of incest, you name it, whatever, you know. I'm refusing the breathalyzer. I know what I knew right away. I was like, there's no reason to even try and be nice anymore because this has gone south. It's ruined. I'm going to jail. I'm like, this guy's not going to have a fun time with me. I mean, I don't try to be like that, but you know,
Yeah.
I mean, he made it abundantly clear. And so I was, you know, I'm sitting in the back there kicking the seat and fucking telling the guy a little ride along. I'm calling him names, telling him I'm going to beat his ass if I ever see him on the street. And, you know, and I mean, I got bailed out within like
Yeah.
a couple hours, you know. I mean, they gave me the phone call and I called my buddy and I was like, hey, dude, go in my room. There's a safe in there. You know, here's the combination. There's bail money in there, you know.
Yeah.
I was only like 21. But that's the only moving violation I've ever had. So it pissed me off when I turned 46 years old. I got to go over there and pay $45 to get a stupid. Why do I need a license? It's not like I just learned how to drive. I mean, I didn't just take driver's ed. I mean, it's like I've got insurance. I don't have any I've not had any violations. And I mean, that's the only one.
Yeah. No, but let me say I have a 4-year-old son and then... No, he's not 4. He's 10. Sorry.
He's not 4. He's 10.
Yeah.
Just a little difference.
Anyways, it's like the same deal. It's like we just want to check what you have and...
Yeah, I mean, it just.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I mean, I've always found that. I mean, for the most part, I mean, I've even slapped a buddy before on a stop.
Yeah.
We got pulled over by tribal police on the Paiute Reservation in Nevada, and I had a BMW that the speedometer cable had broke, so I had to judge my speed based on the RPMs on the tachometer, and we're out there on the reservation. And so we're going through, there's like a little, it's not necessarily a town, it's like the marina, but the speed limit drops to 45. And I've got to drop down to where I think I'm at 45. Well, I'm at like 51 or whatever. And so tribal police pulls me over and I got a buddy sitting next to me in the car, right? And I look at him like, just shut up, you know? And I've got a bag of weed on me and a pipe. And so in that BMW up underneath, the little flap, I had put a zipper in, and so I reach up. I had like limo tint windows, so you couldn't see in that car.
Yeah.
So I reach up, I unzip the thing, and I stash that shit in there, right? And I tell my buddy sitting there, Phil. I said, "Shut the fuck up. Just don't say a word."
Yeah.
And tribal police, because dude, you don't want to get pulled out over on a reservation.
Oh no.
When you're 2 white college kids in a fucking gold BMW with limo tint window. No. Mm-mm. It's not a good place to be. And he comes up and he comes up and he was a younger guy, and then there was the older guy. There was 2 of them, and he was decent to, he was like, well, I need you to get out the vehicle, and I'm like, well, how come? And he's like, he looks in the back seat and there's beer cans everywhere. He's like, because I've got a suspicion that you've been drinking, and it gives me the right to search the vehicle. I'm like, oh shit. And so so I'm like, all right, get out, Phil. And we get out, we walk to the back, and Phil starts smarting off to this guy. And I just reach over and just fucking backhanded him. He's being a smart ass. And, and the guy was like, he's like going, and the old guy, he's turned around because he's laughing so hard that I just smacked the shit out of my buddy. And he's like, well, I'm going to have to search the vehicle. Is there anything I need to be aware of? And I was like, no. Just you saw the beer cans, and he's like, okay, so they're up there and they're both like just tearing through shit, and they act like it's no big deal, like they're acting all calm and cool, and they start walking towards me, and I look down at the guy's belt, and he's got the bag of weed like through his belt loop, and he's holding onto the pipe, and I'm just like,
oh my God,
fuck, and he's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and hold on to this, and I'm like, yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
And he goes, here's the deal. He goes, my sister works down at the marina at the little cafe down there. He goes, what you guys are going to do is you're going to go down there and you're going to have a cup of coffee, maybe get yourself a bowl of soup, something to eat. And he goes, and I want you to make sure you tip my sister real well. And she's going to let me know. And he's like, and I don't ever want to see you out here on this reservation again. I'm like, don't worry, man. And I mean, the reason we were leaving out of there, we were having a work party out there.
Yeah.
And a fight broke out like you wouldn't believe, man. It was the craziest place I ever worked. I mean, we were working, we were building a golf course right across the highway from the Paiute Reservation out there in Fernley, Nevada. And they had segregated work crews.
Okay.
So they would have a Paiute crew and white crews.
Yeah.
So when I started working out, I was only 19. I started working out there, and I show up, and my boss was a dick. You know, I go up to him in the morning. And I said, "Hey, how you doing? Your name's Johnny, yes,
Like,
sir."
fuck.
And I said, "Sir, I'm your new hand." And he goes, "The fuck you are." And I said, "Well, doesn't Earl own this company?" And he goes, "Yeah, but he doesn't run my fucking crew." He goes, I didn't hire your ass." He goes, "Get your ass over there with that Pocahontas crew." And I said, "What the fuck is a Pocahontas crew?" I'm like, "What are you talking?" He's like, "Go there, them fucking," you know. And I'm like, "What?" So I gotta drive over there to where this Paiute crew is. They're pouring concrete.
Yeah.
And so I'm 19-year-old white kid. I go walking up, and I'm like trying to figure out like who's in charge. I see this guy, and he's bigger than the rest of them, and he seems to be in charge, you know. And I go up to him and I said, "Hey, how are you, sir?" You know, and he goes, "What do you want, white boy?" You know, and I'm like, I was like, "Johnny told me to come over here and help you guys out." You know, I'm like, I said, I've done form work before. You know, I'm like, I got my tools and shit, and he's like laughing. He's like, "Okay, white boy," you know. And I sat there with that crew for like 2-3 weeks. Those guys would sit in their cars, drink beer, smoke joints all day, laugh at me. They would sit there and laugh at me. They'd talk in the native tongue that I didn't understand. I knew they were making fun of me, and I just busted my ass the whole time. Like I never stopped. I never complained. Nothing, you know. And it got to the point like after work where they'd throw me a beer.
Yeah.
You know, and so we became friends, which was cool. Actually, it was a good deal because you know, I mean. This guy, Big Fred, that was the fucking boss. He had a thumb missing, you know. And I remember one day asking him, I was like, once he realized that I was all right, you know.
Yeah.
Like after I busted my ass for him, you know, we got to be like, you know, jovial with one another, I suppose. You know, I mean, we become friends. And I was like, "Hey, Big Fred, what happened to your thumb? What happened to you?" He's like, "Hatchet fight." I'm like, "Hatchet fight? Hatchet fight? What the fuck are you talking about, man? Where the fuck you getting a hatchet fight?" You know, and he proceeds to tell me the fucking story, and I'm just like, God. Jesus Christ. So anyway, so after it was like I think 3 weeks I worked on their crew, and all of a sudden that Johnny that was my foreman, that was supposed to be my foreman, he comes over and he just grabs me. He's like, "Come on." So what? I mean. So I get taken away from, I mean, I'd become friends with all these guys, right?
Yeah.
And I was the only white guy that was like friend. So I get taken back on the white crew, right? And so, I mean, it was crazy working there. I'd never seen anything like it in my life because it was straight up, it was segregated work crews. And, and my boss was so prideful that like if we were putting in water or sewer line and there was a Paiute crew that was working next to us, we would stay late until we put in more linear feet. He'd be like, "God damn it, you motherfuckers can't shovel shit out from underneath a cuckoo clock." He's like, "We're getting beat by that goddamn Pocahontas crew," is what he would say. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. So there was this water truck driver, you know, and it was so dusty out there. You're in the desert. It's 115 degrees every day. You're down in a 6-foot trench. It was a brutal job. I made good money, but it was rough. Luckily, I was a young man and I could handle it. But this guy would come by with that water truck, and you know he could control the, you know, which way, and he had a side nozzle, and he would go by the Paiute crews, and he would just douche those guys with that water. Like he would turn it on for us, where he would like it was like a sprinkler, you know, it's like a nice mist. Like it'd be like, "Oh, that's refreshing." But he'd go by the Paiute crew, and he would just fucking open that fucking thing up, and it would just like be like a fire hydrant, and he'd just douche these guys. It was just a dick move. And so when we finished the golf course, they have this party out at Pyramid Lake, which is a crazy lake out there in Nevada. It's a weird place anyhow. There's weird energy out there. It's pretty bizarre. But the boss of the company, he builds like a dance floor. They got a live band. You know, everybody's out there in boats and shit. We show up. Big Fred's out there in his trunks. He's swimming in the lake, and he keeps duck diving down in the water, and he comes up with a bottle of tequila, and he's necking it down, and then he popped the cap back on it, and he dived down, and he was putting it like under a rock.
Oh my gosh.
And so then he'd come back up, and he's like swimming with his kids and his old lady and shit, you know. And so we're all standing around, and he's done swimming or whatever. He goes down, he gets his bottle, and he brings it out with him, and he walks out, and he's wearing his swim trunks or whatever.
Oh my God.
And so I'm sitting there talking with my boss, and the water truck driver that had been douching his guys down.
Oh my God.
And Big Fred comes up and just whips his shit out and fucking pees right on that dude's leg. Just pisses all over him. And it turned into one of the biggest melees I'd ever seen. I mean, there were women and children fighting. I mean, because you had all these white people and all these Paiutes, and we're on the Paiute reservation. And it got ugly. I mean, it got real ugly.
Oh no, I believe that.
And I mean, I looked at my buddy. I said, "Let's get the fuck out." And so I was not even. I didn't have a dog. I didn't have a dog in that fight.
But it's because of what's their name? The I don't know.
What's her name?
The Paiutes or.
Well, yeah. I mean, and the water truck driver, he'd been driving.
No. But it's like.
Yeah, I mean, we're out there, and I mean, and you know, I mean, Paiute Indians. I mean, they're a fierce people.
Yeah,
and they will fight, and they are not.
Oh yeah,
and they don't. I mean, like I said, Big Fred was missing the fucking thumb from a hatchet fight. For fuck's sake, you don't want to mess with a dude that's missing a thumb from a hatchet fight.
No.
Like if you're going up, let me tell you this, people, if you're going to get in a fight with somebody, and that dude has got a missing digit from a hatchet, and he didn't do it chopping kindling wood by himself, you don't want to mess with that guy.
Nope.
Like you don't want nothing to. I was their friends, right? Like all the Paiute guys out there, they knew me, they respected me, I respected them. We had a good relationship. They didn't like any of the other white dudes though. And when Big Fred did that, it erupted, man. They were tearing up that fucking dance floor.
Yeah,
they were. I mean, I mean, there were. You know, there were Paiute women fighting the white women that were. I mean, everybody. There were kids going. I mean, I looked at my buddy Phil. I was like, "Let's get the fuck out of here." And so we just went and got in my car and we left. Yeah, and it was supposed to be a whole weekend. It was supposed to be like a 3-day party. Like the owner of the company, Earl, he had like a keg truck out there. He had a smoker to make. You know, I mean, it was going to be like a 3-day party, and it didn't last hour and a half.
Yeah, no, and I don't blame you because it's like.
Oh, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I wasn't gonna fight those guys anyways because those guys were my friends.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, they were just as much my friends as all the white folks were. I mean, it was not like I had like I said, I didn't have a dog in the fight. I was just like, fuck it, I'm out. And that's probably why I got pulled over because I'm sure the police were called. The tribal police were probably called, and you know, and they see a guy in a gold BMW, you know, limo tint windows and Wyoming plates go flying down the road, and I mean. I'm just a sitting duck at that point in time. But I got out of it. I mean, all I had to do was go get a cup of coffee and a bowl of soup or whatever. And I think I tipped the guy's sister a $20 bill or whatever. And we drove on out of there and we didn't have another problem. But I never went back again. That was the last time. The job was over and they'd asked me to like, I think the next one they were doing was like in Medford, Oregon. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to college, I think.
Yeah.
So I always wonder what would have happened if I had stayed with that crew. Talk about a wild bunch, dude. Talk about a wild bunch. That was one of the wildest summers I've ever had in my life working out there. Yeah. Because, you know, all the white dudes, they're all desert rats, you know? These are guys with mullets and shit. They're all, I mean, there was some crazy shit that went on out there. Everybody was on meth. Everybody was on meth, man. It was the first safety meeting, man. The boss is like fucking. He's passing around the thing to sign. He's like, I want to tell you guys something. He's like, I've been hearing rumors about guys on my crew doing meth. And he's like, now here's the deal. He goes, sign the goddamn sheet. And he goes, from now on, nobody on my crew doing meth unless they give some to me first. I'm just like, oh god, this is
you're like,
great.
what the fuck? It's like.
I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had his 2 boys working on the crew. They were like 16 and 17, just youngsters. He was trying to teach them, you know, the trade or whatever. Yeah. And those kids, they would go with me every day at lunch, and we'd go smoke weed, you know. There was a little pizza place in town, so we'd go in there, we'd get a slice, and then on our way back, you know, and I mean, I was 19, they were 16 and 17, so we weren't that far apart in age, you know. I mean, he'd let them come stay in Reno with me for the weekend, you know. I mean, he trusted me, finally. I mean, at first he didn't. He was trying
Yeah.
to run me off, and after a while, he came up to me one day. Finally, he was like, "I had you read wrong." He's like, "You're a hell of a." And I said, "Hey, man," I said, "I was never trying to get over on anybody.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have an opportunity to come out and work, you know." And he was like, he offered me a job on the next one that they were going to, and I was like, "I'll think about it." But his kids, man, one of the kids, he was one of the kids. He had the lazy eye.
Oh yeah.
And when you're talking to somebody that's got the lazy eye, and when you're talking to him, you're like, you're trying to look somebody in the eye, right? But you don't know where to look because the eye is doing something weird.
Yeah.
Like it's going one way, and you're like,
Yeah.
And so you try and just look right here, It's like, dude, that was this kid. He'd get stoned, man, and it would get even worse. And I'd laugh at him because he was so goofy looking, And their dad, he was the boss, and he was always trying to teach them how to run heavy equipment. And that's what he did. He ran the excavator and dug the trenches. And so one day we get back, and we're pretty stoned. And so he yells at the kid, Josh. He's like, "Josh, get in the loader and go down there and get me a load of wet sand," because we always had a pile of wet sand that we'd keep turning it all, because that's what we'd pack the pipe in with when we'd get it, put in the trench. And so his dad had just bought a brand new wheelbarrow that day. And I don't know if you've seen my wheelbarrow I got outside, but it's like got the dual front tires on it. It's like it doesn't tip.
Yeah.
This was a brand new, but it was metal.
Oh my
He just got it like the Ace that morning, and he was proud as hell of that thing. And he pulled it out of the back of his truck, and he's telling everybody, "Nobody touch my wheelbarrow," And we had to use the old rickety ones, and that thing was sitting there on the side of the ditch. And that kid got up in that fucking loader, and his dad's in the excavator, and he's looking down the ditch this way, and that kid's just hauling ass down this way to get to that pile of sand. And that wheelbarrow's sitting right there. And he's in a big ass front end load. I mean, those tires on them fucking things are like 8 feet tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he runs right over it. It flattened it. It was metal. It flattened. The tires went boom and popped.
Oh my God.
It flattened it, and Johnny just stood up in that excavator, and he got this look on his face. And that kid goes down there, and he scoops up a bucket of sand, and he's bringing it back, and he's like dumping it in the ditch. He's shaking the bucket or whatever, and his old man just stomping down the trench.
Yeah, and you're
He ripped that kid out of that loader and just started fucking chewing his ass. I was just like, we were laughing so fucking hard, man.
I believe you.
I mean, just as literally that fucking that wheelbarrow was just flat as a pancake. There was no.
No, there's no saving it from.
No.
Like,
And the kid didn't even realize what he had done. That's
Yeah.
what was funny. I don't know if it was the lazy eye. It was probably part of the weed.
Yeah.
But oh my
it's a
God.
combination of everything.
I was laughing so fucking hard, man. I thought I was going to die. And then, of course, when he turns around and stomps back up, everybody's all serious, we're all shoveling like, He gets back in, we're all...
Yeah, exactly. It's like...
And, of course, then he throws the kid in the trench with us, all the monkeys, and we're all making fun of him, dumb shit, fucking, he didn't even really understand what he'd done.
Yeah.
He didn't even see it. He probably wouldn't have even felt it with that big machine.
Yeah,
he's just cruising along. I remember he had a blue hard hat, and he'd always wear it backwards, And I was like, dude, turn that hat around, There were so many things like that happened out there, man.
Oh, I believe you.
We'd work that line, and so we were moving 1,250 feet a day. And so we had a porta potty that was on a trailer. We'd have to tow it with us, because we're moving all day. Like we're it's a subdivision going in around this golf course, and we're putting in the water and sewer. So it was hooked up to one of the trucks, and you'd just bring it with you as you go. But the new guys would show up, and we'd go and put a bungee cord around the thing, and jump in that truck and just take the guy for a ride. Welcome to the blue juice. You're talking 115 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, and you're in one of those things, and dude's been shitting in it for a week, they only come and clean it out once. You'd see the new guy go in, and everybody like, here we go. And
oh my God.
Go grab a bungee cord, tie it off on the thing, and jump in the truck and just fly around that job site. It's out there. It's all gravel, dirt roads and shit. It's not even really roads. It's just dirt, rocks and shit. That thing's bouncing around. Guys in there just flopping. Or you can hear him screaming and yelling. Comes out all blue. Oh my God. Oh God. I had to thankfully, I heard him doing it to me when I was there, because I'd worked in the oil field before I ended up on that job, so I knew about the pranks. And I was in there one day, and I could hear him creeping up, and I jumped right out of there.
Yeah.
I think I pinched off the loaf and zipped it up and jumped out of there with no wiper. I was like, "Oh, you motherfuckers!" And they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah." They're like, "Oh yeah." Look, what are you doing? Nothing. It's like, yeah, okay, nothing, huh? I mean, that shit was just hilarious.
Oh my God.
It was so funny, man. Did you see a guy come out of there just covered in that blue shit water? And just, I mean, you'd feel bad for him, but you couldn't help just like,
Yeah.
I mean, laughing so hard you're blowing fucking snot bubbles out of your face. It's like, look at this mother. And then the guy'd have to sit there and work the rest of the day like that. I mean, you're out there in that hot sun, that blue shit, just caked on, drying out on you. Oh God. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's how I came up.
It's just so great. Like, I can only imagine the other DJ or like the other person playing sets.
Oh God, we used to do such bad things to the new guy. Like when I was framing, like building, we used to frame like Texacos and Dairy Queens and shit. We'd get a new guy and they'd go in the porta potty, and we'd take our nail guns and just you just pull the guard, pull the guard back, and you can just sit there and it's like a semi-automatic. And so all the guys up there, shooting the building or whatever, man, the new guy goes in and you just pull the guard back, and everybody just starts boom, 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 boom. And I mean, when you're inside of that porta potty, and those things, I mean, you can hear them whistling, and they're just peppering it, And I mean, and we'd just laugh, and I mean, we'd let the guy come out eventually, but it was like the initiation, The boss would sit there and scream and yell at us, about wasting all the nails. The worst is when we'd do that to somebody, and then we'd run out of nails at the end of the day, and they'd fucking boss would freak out. But I mean, that was always funny as shit too, I mean, I could go on and on about the pranks I've seen over the years. I mean, guys, the welders that they'd fill paper bags with acetylene, that they use for a cutting torch. They'd fill them with acetylene, and then they'd take a welder's cracker, that you just get a spark from, and with a paper bag full of a cracker, they'd walk up behind somebody and just crack it, and that bag would just boof.
Oh my God.
I watched him do it with this one old electrician one day, and this old bastard, he had no teeth. I mean, he was damn near on death's door. And he's in there in the shop, and he's at the workbench, and he's working on something. And one of the welders, Jed, he goes up behind him, man, and he cracked that bag, and that fucking old man,
oh my God,
that old Earl, he jumped, and he had those old bow legs, he's an old man, he had that bow-legged walk going on, and he jumps in the air, and he fucking hits, he turns around, and he goes, "God damn it, you motherfucker!" And Jed's just laughing. And he was an English guy too. He's like big, he's like, "Oh, sorry, Earl. I didn't mean nothing by it, And that sounded more Australian, but Earl's like, "That ain't that." He's like, "I just shit my fucking pants." He goes waddling off to the back, and the poor old bastard shit himself. I mean,
oh my God.
These guys would do shit, dude. They would put that Purple K, Purple K fire extinguisher powder, right? It's really fine. It goes in the fire extinguishers, and when it gets on you, it goes like in the pores of your skin because it's so fine. And guys would bring their trucks over to the welding shop to get them worked on from time to time. The oil field hands, if they had something wrong, they'd take it to the welding shop, and so they'd park it there. And this one dude out there that was friends with my dad, he was a little short guy from Kentucky, had kind of a hot temper, and he'd get wound up, he was kind of like a little, he was like what was that fucker off of the old Looney Tunes that would shoot Yosemite Sam?
Yeah, there you go.
He kind of had a temperament like Yosemite Sam. Real nice until you get him. And so he goes over there one day, and our carpentry shop was right next to the welding shop. And so he drops his truck off, and he comes over in our shop, and he's just hanging out over there. And we're working on something, and he's bothering us or what, he's just running his, and so the welder gets on the radio, and he tells us, "Hey, we called him Screech." He's like, "Screech's truck is ready." And so we tell him, like, "Hey, Screech's truck is ready." So he walks over, and my boss, he's like, "Come here, Mike." So we go up to the window of our wood shop, and we're looking out the window, and he goes, "Watch this." And he knew right away what they were going to do to him. So what they did was they filled up the defrost with that
Yeah.
Purple K fire extinguisher powder, and they turned the fan on high, and they had backed the truck out in front of the shop for him and had the keys sitting there. It was all ready for him to go. And so he gets in there. He's got his hard hat, all his safety gear, you know. You had to have your safety glasses, and you had to have your H2S monitor and your hard hat and everything. He gets in that thing and he turns that key, and that whole cab just turns fucking purple, man. I mean, just poof. He gets out. He takes his safety glasses off, and he's got like these white marks here, but the rest of him, he looks like a grape. And he's staggering around, and he's kicking the dirt and yelling and screaming and hollering. And those two welders, they're just out front, just dying laughing. And he gets in that truck and takes off in it. He didn't talk to anybody for like 2 weeks after that, man. It was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
But guys my first day, man, we're going up to the place where you take a break, and there's a naked dude taped to a fucking power pole. And I'm just a young kid. I'm like, what is that? And they're like, oh, it's his last day. And I'm like, so what's that all about? And they're like,
Exactly.
well, he's going to sit there all day. And this is the middle of the summer. Like here in Wyoming, it's a hot day. And he's butt naked, and they got him duct taped to a pole. They left his ass there all day. He was so fucking sunburned. And then they ripped that duct tape off of him. And that's like how it was his last day at work, and that's how they treat him. I mean, he got paid, but shit. I mean, who knows? I hesitate to think about those sunburns of that poor son of a bitch. I never knew him. It was my first day. I never met the guy, nothing. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm not telling these guys when I'm quitting. Shit like that went on out there every fucking day, man. I mean, you had to watch your ass out there every day.
Oh, I believe that, because it's like, you don't even know.
Yeah, you don't. And my dad was the gang pusher, so he was like the boss out there of all these hands, you know. And so, of course, when I show up, I'm, of course, going to get, you know. I mean, I remember coming into my, you know, to the shop and going in. We'd leave our lunch pails in there because we'd always go back to our shop for lunch, you know. I remember going in and finding my lunch pail. It'd be full of, they'd fill it full of sawdust, and then they'd super glue the lid shut.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Before they do that, they'd run like T25 screws through the bench. So they'd screw it down to the bench, fill it with sawdust, and then glue it shut, you know?
No, but let me say, it's like at the store where I work at, they haven't even mentioned the I don't know, the bad guys, the kid. It's like they haven't even mentioned it, but they're coming in. So
what is it?
Oh no, it's like the I
don't know what you're talking about.
Never mind.
You something you put on your head?
Sorry.
Hard hats? You don't wear hard hats in the liquor store? You put a mask on your head, on your forehead?
Yeah.
The masks?
No. It's like the.
This is gonna be good. You got to tell me, man. You're laughing so hard now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's just cut it out.
All right. Okay, then. Well, you got to tell me when you compose yourself. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man.
I don't know.
Oh, man. No. Oh, God. Yeah. Good old work pranks. Good old work pranks. God. I mean, I tell you what, Jesus Christ. I don't even know about I could just go on and on.
Yeah.
I could do a whole show just about, 35 years in the trades.
Yeah.
Seeing the shit that guys, dudes are brutal to each other too. And you just got to take it.
Yeah.
Like the only thing you can do, you can't get mad about it because you get mad when you get pranked and it's just going to keep, what you have to do is just act like it didn't even fucking happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you got to get them back.
Yeah.
But that's what I did to the guy that did the shit where he screwed my lunchbox down. I pried it open with a screwdriver. I saw all the sawdust. I tipped it over in the trash can, grabbed my sandwich, and I sat there and I didn't act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And the next day, he would always leave a bottle of Cholula sitting on our table because they would come over. These were the welders. They'd come eat with us. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, I'm going to get this motherfucker back somehow. And so I'm looking at that and I look over and I see a bottle of red chalk line dust because we'd use the red, put it in your chalk line, to snap lines and shit. And so I look at that and I'm thinking, that's the same color as that Cholula. I'll just fill that fucking Cholula up with fucking chalk. I didn't realize that sodium bicarbonate, which is what chalk is made of, has a fucking reaction with goddamn vinegar in the hot sauce.
Yeah.
And so I pop his Cholula lid off, and I grab this thing, and I'm fucking dumping, and that thing starts bubbling and shit, and I'm like, fucking shit. And I put the lid back on real quick, and it's like starting to fizz out. And I grab a paper towel, and I wipe it all off.
No, that thing is gonna blow up.
I put it right back. I put it right back after I cleaned up the edge, And so I told my boss, and so we're sitting there eating lunch, and Jed goes to grab his fucking Cholula. See, he would eat the same thing every day. He'd have a turkey and cheddar cheese bagel.
Yeah.
And he goes to grab that, and we're kind of like, and he didn't really pay attention to what he opened that fucker, and that hot sauce shot right up in his fucking face, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it went like up his nose and his eyes. But the thing is he knew that I'd got him back.
Yeah.
And he couldn't say anything about it either. He had to take it, and he did, and we turned out to be really good friends.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at him. I knew he was doing what he did to me just because I was a new guy. But it was kind of an unwritten thing, I mean, he never got me back. We kind of was even after that. Like, you get a guy back, it's like, okay, we're done. You know? Especially, but you got to get him back good. Yeah. It can't be like a half-ass.
Yeah, no.
But that one was pretty good. I mean, I didn't know. I had no idea. I just thought it would be I thought, okay, I'll put this chalk in this hot sauce, and then he'll go to dump it, and it won't go anywhere. It'll be all solidified. I didn't think it was going to be volatile.
Yeah, no.
And I've used that one a couple times on different people over the years. So if you're ever thinking about getting somebody with a good trick,
oh yeah,
a little bit of chalk and some hot sauce, man. I mean, it doesn't take much either. That shit'll blow right up in your face. So anyway, kids, ladies, gentlemen, there's some good information for you. Yeah. We won't even get into the rest of them.
No.
I guess we should probably shut it off, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was fun. I guess that was 3 within 24 hours. I don't know. Shoot for 4 tomorrow. Then we'll just sit on here and talk all day. How'd y'all like that? Just all day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, not happening.
No.
I think I'm going to go ride my dirt bike tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do something. You got to work tomorrow?
No.
Oh, yeah, you're off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm off until Friday, so.
Did you guys have a nice Easter?
Oh.
Did you eat ham?
Yeah.
God damn it. What is it? I was talking about that earlier. What is the deal with fucking ham and Easter?
I have no idea.
It's like Christmas and Easter. It's like every fucking holiday that centers around Jesus is ham.
Yeah.
But Jesus was from the Middle East, and most people from the Middle East don't eat pork. They don't eat. I mean, maybe the Jewish people ate pork. They don't eat pork.
No, they don't eat pork.
No, of course not. Of course not. What am I thinking? Jesus Christ. I mean, sorry. I mean, Jesus Cristo.
No, but I ate ham, so
I knew you. I mean, that's what I put out earlier. I was like, "Who had ham yesterday?" Because I remember growing up, it was ham. Always gristly and always that yellow mustard. I hate yellow mustard.
No, but it was good ham.
Was it one of those?
Yeah.
Was it a honey ham? Was it a spiral cut?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, those are good. Yeah, those are all right. Those are all right. It's the ones that are not. That they're all gristly and shit. And then we'd always have that yellow mustard.
Oh no,
I fucking hate yellow mustard, dude.
No. Oh.
Dude, I call it kitty mustard.
No.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
It's got to be a good. I mean, I like a nice Dijon.
Yeah.
I like a nice chipotle or garlic. I mean, I like a nice mustard. It's got to have some seed. I'm talking about adult mustard.
Yeah.
The yellow French's. And every time you go to pour that shit out, it fucking has that mustard water.
Yeah.
It has that mustard water.
It has that taste.
It's got that, but it's got the mustard water. So you go to squeeze it, and that yellow piss water fucking shit goes out all over. If you're trying to put it on a sandwich, it turns your bread on there. I hate that shit. I don't even allow it in my house.
No,
I don't allow it in here. It's not even allowed in my fridge.
Yeah.
It's like no kitty mustard. I hate that shit.
Nope. My mother-in-law cut it, and it's like it's all good.
Yeah.
So
I don't even like ketchup.
No.
Yeah, that. Yes. I mean, you got to do something a little better than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you got to put ketchup and kitty mustard on something, then you're eating garbage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're eating a bologna sandwich on a piece of Wonder Bread.
No. This time out.
With some of that warm square cellophane cheese.
Yeah.
The shit in the wrapper that always, you go and peel it, and then like half of it breaks out, and it's all mushy in your hands, and you're like, what is this shit? I'm going to eat this?
you know, and it's those few times when I'm actually glad that I'm Mexican because it's like, no, I don't want to eat this.
Yeah. My people would not agree with this. I wasn't raised this way.
Yeah.
You can conscientiously object.
Yeah. No, it's like, nope. Time out. It's like, I will not eat this.
Yeah. Oh, God. Good old white bread. It's shit that won't even mold. You put the kitty mustard and then you get the juice on it.
Oh, no. Oh.
And it doesn't matter how much you shake it up.
Yeah.
It's still, you shake it and you still open the thing
Oh my God.
and that mustard juice comes out, man. And you're just like, fuck.
No, but it's
That's
like,
shit's horrible. It's almost as bad as Miracle Whip. And I fucking hate Miracle Whip, man. Miracle Whip is a no-fly zone around here either. Miracle Whip is not allowed. It's not allowed in my house. That shit smells like dumpster juice, man. Have you ever smelled like a bad dumpster? You know, like at the back of a restaurant or something where they've dumped out the trash and it's got like the, you know, it's years of accumulation of the dumpster juice.
Oh yeah.
You know that smell.
Yeah. It's like, I'm good.
That's what Miracle Whip tastes like to me. I mean, I can smell that shit in my eyes. Like, no. I mean, like, I don't really hang out with anybody who's down with Miracle Whip. If you're down with Miracle Whip, we ain't kicking it. I don't even really like mayonnaise that much, but that Miracle Whip shit is just garbage. It's trash. That's just trash, man.
Yeah.
That shit is like straight fucking dumpster juice, man.
Yeah.
And you can smell it in your mind, can't you?
Yeah.
Like when you're walking down an alley behind a restaurant and you smell that dump, you're like, especially one of them where like it's been a dumpster that's been there for a while, and so it started to rust out. One of the corners, you know, and it's got like bees or hornets in it, and and flies, and the dumpster juice is running out the corner into the alley, and you can smell that when you want. I mean, that's like, you might as well dip your sandwich in that shit.
Yeah.
As opposed to eating Miracle Whip. I'd rather put dumpster juice on my sandwich than Miracle Whip. Whoever invented Miracle Whip needs to be taken back and beaten with a garden hose. On that note, we're delirious.
Oh my God.
So we're going to end it.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Ricardo?
Oh my God, no.
Dumpster juice? No dumpster juice?
No.
All right. Well.
Oh my God.
From Ricardo and I and the Mike Files, 52 miles east of Yellowstone Park in Coyote, Wyoming, we're going to say be good or be good at it.
Yes, please. Oh my God.
In all things, be kind unless it comes to dumpster juice, and do no harm unless it comes to dumpster juice. And I'm going to take y'all out with a little fucking Tom McDonald. We're going to bounce. We're out. Later days, Willie Mays.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
We know what we're talking about.
Good Lord. That was a funny one.
I wish I wasn't fat.
I wish I wasn't gay.
I wish I wasn't black.
I wish that I was brave.
I wish with every candle on the cake that I could quit doing these drugs, but I can't and I'm afraid.
I wish that I was smart.
I wish that I was rich.
I wish it wasn't hard for me to grow up and forgive.
I wish that I could help. I wish I wasn't sick.
I wish I was Tom McDonald. I'd be just like him.
I wish I wasn't sober. I miss it when the party wasn't over. Happiness was right around the corner. Every single night was like the best one of our lives. Now we're older. The good old days are out of reach. I wish that they were closer. I wish I wasn't anxious and I wish I could fast forward. And I wish that I could rewind, but they don't make that controller. I wish the nights were longer and I wish the days were shorter. And I wish that I could sleep enough to maintain my composure. I feel crazy. I wish that I was normal. I wish that I could kill myself but also be immortal. Take me to the oracle. I heard that time is borrowed. Can you give me back my yesterdays? I'll give you my tomorrows. Forget all of my morals and just live like I cannot remember sorrow. Before all of the tattoos and the cornrows, I was different, I was happy, I was calmer, I was young and full of hormones. Now I'm wishing for a time machine, I'd step into that portal and be gone.
I wish on shooting stars, or were they satellites? Maybe they were too far. Hey, ooh la la, I must have blown apart a million dandelions. Now they don't grow in my yard. Hey, ooh la la.
Wish I didn't care about the day that I'd be buried. Used to live like I was ready for it, always in a hurry. Now I'm worried, all my memories are blurry. I'm just barely turning 30 and the voices in my head are trying to hurt me. The choices that I made make me feel dirty. I was 25 or 13, I was smoking with the seniors, drinking beer and getting flirty. Now the Ativan ain't working, I need something even stronger. Give me childhood, my mother and my father and my sister, and a Christmas to make up for all the recent ones I'm missing while I'm touring the country for a living. Give me a hug and a Nintendo and a toy box in the closet. Give me everything I wish I had. Oh wait, I think I got it. I'm a rapper like I always promised them I would accomplish. This is awesome, man. I wish I had a friend to tell. I'd call him, man. I wonder if I jump from here, if I'd survive the bottom, and would everyone believe me if I told them I had fallen? I'ma jump.
I wish on shooting stars, or were they satellites? Maybe they were too far. Hey, ooh la la, I must have blown apart a million dandelions. Now they don't grow in my yard. Hey, ooh la la.
I wish we were kids again, before everything was on Instagram. Ayo, things were so simple then. Me, my tree fort, all of my friends. Way back when on Beaver Drive, when the floor was lava, I could fly. Ayo, wished I was big like them. Never thought I'd wanna be a kid again.